18th Adhyay, as you know, and we have finished 55 shlokas up till now. Today we are going to do two very beautiful shlokas, 56 and 57, and very practical, especially for us. Okay, when I say us, I mean all of you and me who are on Zoom today. So let me start with chanting 56. Sarvakarmanyaphi sada kurvano madhyaprashrayah matprasadadavapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. Bhagavan says, the karma yogi, however, who depends on me, attains by my grace the eternal, imperishable state, even though performing all actions. See the word however, the karma yogi, however, who depends on me. Why, however? Because previously he has talked about the Sankhya yogi. If you read the 54th shloka, he has talked about the Sankhya yogi. Now he's moving to the karma yogi. And what is the difference we will see now in this beautiful shloka. So let's go back to 54. Bhagwan gave the lakshans of a Sankhya yogi who has attained param bhakti, supreme devotion. What are those lakshans? If you'll remember, prasannatma, the mind has become perfectly purified. Second, na shochati, na kangshati. Neither does he grieve about anything, any loss, nor does he desire anything in the future. And lastly, sama sarveshu bhuteshu. He is the same towards all beings. That's the Sankhya yogi. So if you see this kind of person who has so much, purified his antakaran, he's in sakshi bhav about everything. He has attained param bhakti. So he is aligned completely to his goal through bhakti, param bhakti. Then in 55, beautifully, Bhagwan goes and talks about how this Sankhya yogi, through the param bhakti, through the supreme devotion, what happens? He knows the divine truth. Knowing belongs to Gyan Yoga. So through bhakti, he has had knowledge of what? Of the divine truth. The words are bhaktya mama bhijanati yavanyaschasmi tatvataha. He knows the absolute truth of himself and of the universe. And doesn't end there. As soon as tadantaram, as soon as he knows that truth, as soon as that truth gets revealed to him, he merges with the divine. So through Bhakti Yoga, he has now attained the supreme goal through Gyan, knowledge of the self. So supreme devotion leads to supreme knowledge, right? Now we are on 56. However, is the word used here. So 56, Bhagwan is giving us a guarantee that however, even if you have not attained param bhakti, and even though you have not gone through bhakti into the gyan of knowing the truth, even that person attains the eternal imperishable state by my grace. By my grace. Bhagwan is talking here about the karma yogi. So up till now, the seeker of Brahma, he has no more duties. So if this seeker has Sankhya yogi, has no more duties to perform, okay, no more duties left, no more responsibilities to hold him back. And he is free now to renounce everything, his varna, his ashram. He can renounce all actions also. He is not bound by any varna and ashram to do any particular duty. Of course, he has completely master the purification of his antakaran, such a person will obviously only take refuge in Bhagwan. That is what has already been told to us. And through this Bhagwan's grace, he will be freed from endless cycles of life and death. That is all for the one who has no more duties to perform. That is for the one who has no more responsibilities that are holding him back. But there are people who cannot renounce their duties. What about them? And that is why I said this shlok is meant for you and me, for us who are still bound by many duties in sansar. So take the example of Arjun. See, if you'll remember in Adhyay 1, Arjun, being a Kshatriya, his duty is very much active. He has to fight the war, he has to uphold dharma, he has to protect his praja, he has to work for the benefit of humanity. But what did he want to do? He wanted to renounce these duties, renounce these responsibilities, and take up the dharma of a sannyasi. So Bhagwan says you cannot do that. You still have duties to perform. You cannot renounce. So he cannot just suddenly say, I have a selfish preference. I prefer to do this rather than my swadharma. He cannot do that. He cannot choose Priya over Shreya. He has to, he's bound by his duties because he's a Kshatriya. Bhagwan says to such persons who still have duties to perform based on their prarabdha, what does Bhagwan say? Such a person must perform all their actions. They cannot renounce, they have to perform according to their varna, according to their ashram. Bhagwan says it in the sloka that he'll attain by my grace this imperishable state, even though performing all actions. But Bhagwan is definitely giving a guarantee here that even though you will be a karma yogi, even though you will be performing your duties, even though you'll be performing all your actions, I guarantee you that you will attain this state through my grace. But there are, see, guarantees always have some conditions, right or wrong. So if when you get a guarantee for some device, they say, okay, for 1 year, we give you guarantee that, we will repair all your things, provided you use it in the way it is meant to be used. So what is this guarantee? Sarva karmanyapi sada kurvano, even though performing all actions, apnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. You will attain the eternal imperishable state. For whatever reason, there are many reasons why you cannot renounce your duties. Maybe, there is some residual vasana left. Maybe there are many reasons. Your prarabdha is still going on. But if you do your duties in the right way, you will still attain the imperishable eternal state of Brahmahood. So what are these conditions? First and foremost, when you'll do your duties, when you'll perform your responsibilities, your duties, you must be doing them in pure, total karma yoga bhav. It's not that I will just do my duties and I will do my sadhanas and Bhagwan will take care of me and give me Brahmahood. No, you perform your duties in pure, complete karma yoga bhav. So recap once again, because people still don't know what is karma yoga bhav. No sense of I in the doership. No sense that I have to do this, I have to do that. No sense of I. Then no expectation of a particular fruit of action. I do my duty. I can only do my action. The result of my action is not in my hands, right? Then all the actions that I do, I will do it as a worship of Brahma. I will do it. See, actions require and two people. So I do that action seeing the Brahma, seeing the divinity in the other. Worship of Brahma. All actions become puja. Okay. Then what else? I have to put my 100% effort in it, not lackadaisical, not procrastinating. 100% with enthusiasm, with joy, with zeal, I have to do it. And I must do my swadharma according to my varna and ashram. I cannot do paradharma. And of course, the most important point, I cannot shirk my duties if it's with a fear that, oh, if I do this duty, I will incur karma. No, not like that. So, Bhagwan will give his grace to the person and give him this eternal goal. Even though he is performing all actions, he does not have to renounce all his actions, provided he is doing all the actions in pure karma yoga bhav. So the first thing you need to ascertain is, and all of us are doing our duties, right? None of us have abandoned our duties. First and foremost, have you abandoned your duties? And if not, you're doing them. Are you doing them in pure karma yoga bhav? That's the first thing we need to check. And then people will say, but if I don't bother about the action, then I don't bother about the result, then how will I ever manage to, move ahead in my life? So that's the second guarantee. Second condition for the guarantee. Madhvya Pashrayaha. Bhagwan says, depend totally on me. Surrender to me. See, this word surrender creates fear in people because you have associated the word with surrendering to your enemy in a battle. Here, you are not in a battle. You are surrendering out of love, not out of fear. And you're surrendering to who? You're surrendering to the highest power. What can you and I achieve with our limited resources? You are surrendering to the one who has unlimited resources, unlimited powers, unlimited everything. So Bhagwan says, do your actions in Karma Yoga Bhav, do your 100%, don't shun your actions, don't shun your duties, and then don't worry about the result. Don't worry about the result. Have faith in me. Depend on me. Surrender it to me. So the result of performing the actions in this way, karma yoga and surrendering, Bhagwan says, you will now take ashraya in me. You will take refuge in me. Means I will take care of you. I will take care of you. What does it mean to totally surrender to Bhagwan? It means to dedicate your I, your ego, your aham to Bhagwan. Say, I cannot do. Bhagwan, now you do. I put myself, I'm your child. I'm sitting in your godi. I'm sitting near your feet. You take care of me. I tried my best. Whatever I did, I could do whatever I could do. Now, Bhagwan, you know what is best for me. You do what needs to be done. And then let it go. Let it go. Stop worrying about it. Be in complete, glad acceptance of what is. That is the meaning of taking refuge in Bhagwan. Okay? Don't go on questioning your prarabdha. Don't go on questioning what situation you are in. Don't go on trying to change your situation. You cannot, my dear. You cannot. There is a bigger plan. There is a bigger, reason why things are happening. So go with the flow. So Shlok 54 told us to be aligned with Bhakti Yoga and develop Param Bhakti. Then in 55, he says, through that Bhakti, you will know your truth. So we are going into Gyan. Bhakti Yoga took us into Gyan Yoga. And here in 56, Bhagwan is telling us how to practice Karma Yoga, which is the basis of Bhakti Yoga and Gyan Yoga. All the three paths are the same because they are all leading us to our final goal of liberation. Now, there are people who raise objections to the word sarva karmaniya. Sarva means all actions. So Bhagwan says this blanket statement, no, those who take objection say this blanket statement Bhagwan has made that all actions he will give you his grace. What about prohibited actions? Even with prohibited actions, he will give the grace. So, a person who is working in karma yoga bhav, who has no aham, who is not at all thinking of the result of the action, will such a person with such an elevated level of purity of mind, would such a person do a prohibited action? Obviously, he would not. Now, there may be circumstances where a prohibited action may be performed. Now, if you see the Kurukshetra war, the war was going on, and Karn was in a situation where he was unarmed. Bhagwan told Arjun, kill him right now, kill him, destroy him. But this was against the code of conduct of warfare. You cannot use your weapons, you cannot kill someone when they are not armed. And Arjun was knew this code of warfare very well, code of conduct. He said, I cannot do that. He is unarmed. Bhagwan says, surrender to my words. Do it right now. So Arjun performed a prohibited action. And sometimes we also may perform some prohibited action because maybe our purification is incomplete. Of course, Bhagwan is not by our side to tell us, do this, do that. Through our own impure mind, we may, by mistake, make a prohibited action, or some residual vasana is left inside, which prods us, urges us to go and do something, or whatever reason. Now, if that happens, but Bhagwan says, even if that happens, and you have totally surrendered to me, through my grace, I will liberate you. So, Karma Yoga, purification and total surrender means total glad acceptance. Even if you make some mistake, Bhagwan says, I will protect you. I will protect you. Through my grace, I will liberate you. What is that word he said? Mat prasadad, through my grace. So what is this grace? Where does this grace come from? There are some very beautiful definitions of grace. Okay, I'm going to read it out to you. What is grace? Grace is the expression of the divine consciousness within our own self, that reveals itself by penetrating through all the layers of our personality. When that time comes for you to be ready to receive the grace, that grace comes from within ourselves, all our pancha koshas, all our body, mind, all the five koshas, sheaths of body. That grace penetrates through these five koshas and reveals itself and gives you that liberation. It is within us. Only we need to make ourselves available for that grace. What is it that is preventing it? Bhagwan says, the more your mind and your intellect is available to that higher self within. See what I'm saying? The more your mind and intellect is available, connected, attached to the higher self within, the more that grace can flow. But where is our mind and where is our intellect connected to? Where are we making our mind and intellect available to sansar, to vishays, even to knowledge which is vyavaharik? All the time, our mind and intellect is whirring away outside. We are not making our mind and intellect available for the grace to flow. Therefore, we need to surrender to that higher power within us. And once that grace surrendering has happened, then no more outside laws are available or no more outside laws are applicable. Then the I drops, the ego ends, and jiva dissolves. And that is when the individual merges with the divine. All right. See, when the river, last time I told you, when the river merges into the ocean, it becomes the ocean. That is what Bhagwan says. You attach to me, na? Make your mind and intellect fully available to me. What are you doing going here and there? Make it available to me. Then I will reveal myself to you. And that is grace. It is not that people ask the Guru, give me grace, give me grace. From where Guru will give you grace? It is inside you itself. Make it available. Make yourself available for it. Now, are there any signs? How will you know whether you are ready for that grace to reveal itself? Are there any signs for us to know whether we are becoming correctly karma yogi? Because we are all karma yogis in doing actions, but are we doing our actions in karma yoga bhav? So here are a few points which you can think about in the next 1 week. How are you using your life? In Karma Yoga Bhav, we work for everyone. Okay? It is not a selfish desire that we are using our life for. How are we using our life? Are we using our life just to fulfill our own personal desires, our own personal needs, or are we working in service of humanity? One point to think about. Second, are we doing our swadharma? Most important. Or are we trying to copy someone else's dharma, which may be more appealing to you? Swadharma important. Second, what is your thought process when you are doing the actions? Are you doing the actions as worship of Brahma? When you do the actions for a person, what are you seeing in that person? Are you seeing the divinity in that person? Are you using your doership and enjoyership, karta bhav, bhokta bhav? If that is coming in, then your action is not in karma yoga bhav, right? So if you want to see the detailed description of a karma yogi, when you go back after the satsang, go to Adhyay 5 and see the shlokas 8 to 12. Beautifully, Bhagwan has described the karma yogi. Okay? So if you have got all those lakshans of a karma yogi, means your antakaran has been properly purified, you are surrendering to Bhagwan, then divine grace will automatically flow. All right? Now, Bhagwan has told us about Bhakti Yoga leading to Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga also leading to the final liberation of all of us. What more can Bhagwan tell us? He's now, because this is such an important point, Bhagwan in the next shlok, and this is what he does, it's this beautiful technique. He will recap everything for us in the next shlok. And I'm just going to go through that one shlok, one more for you, 57, because it's a recap and it concludes all the sadhanas that we are meant to do. Let's go to 57. चेतसा सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः बुद्धियोगमुपाश्रित्य मच्चित्त सततं भव. mentally dedicating all your actions to me and taking recourse to yoga in the form of even-mindedness, be solely devoted to me and constantly fix your mind on me. Nothing more or nothing new is being said here. Just the same thing as he has told us in the last few shlokas, but he is saying it again to hammer it into us, to make us understand the importance of this sadhana, and to encourage us that it is possible for each one of us, you and me, to reach that final goal. Let's recap what he's saying here. Bhagwan says, mentally surrendering all your actions to me and having me as your highest goal. Okay? Same thing Bhagwan has said in Adhyay 9 also. If you'll see Shlok 27 of Adhyay 9, Bhagwan said, Arjun, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, whatever you do by way of penance, do that as an offering to me. Bhagwan is repeating it again and again and again because he knows how difficult it is for us to do this. It needs a lot of focus, mumukshutva, and a firm desire to reach your ultimate goal. So Bhagwan says, surrender all your actions to me. Surrender all your actions to the Supreme Being. What are you actually surrendering? See, why does this work? If you understand the why, it becomes easier to do. Bhagwan is saying, surrender your actions to me. How does that help me to reach my final goal? When you're surrendering your actions, what you are actually surrendering is your limited self. Your little limited ego is what you are surrendering. That I have done this action, that I will get this reward, that I am such a great person, that I can do this and I can do that, and I deserve this and I deserve that. When you surrender your action, you are surrendering your ego. You are surrendering your little limited I. That limited I which is hankering for recognition of doership. That limited I which is hankering for the reward of the action. Now, who is getting this? This is your attachment. This is your identification with your body, not with your higher self. Therefore, the simple action of surrendering your action to Bhagwan is you are surrendering your ego to Bhagwan. And when will I be able to do this? When will I be able to surrender my action and therefore surrender my ego to Bhagwan? When will that happen? And when can it happen? Bhagwan says, it can happen only when you are a mumukshu. Everyone says, I'm also mumukshu. I'm also mumukshu. I also yearn for Bhagwan. I also desire to be united with Bhagwan. I also want moksha. Everyone says, I'm also mumukshu. However, a mumukshu, a true mumukshu, has only one goal, not 100 goals, not a goal for your profession, a goal for your family, a goal for your finances, a goal for your social recognition, a goal for your children, a goal for this and a goal for that. Then it cannot happen. It can happen when you have only one goal left, that one goal being attaining union with the Supreme Being. Then only can you truly surrender to that higher power. right? See the shloka in Adhyay 2 also, 48, shlok number 48. Bhagwan says, when you will give up all these attachments, which are illusory, which are not going to take you to your highest goal, then only you will get yoga. Then only you will have union with me. Only. So the first point we have to understand, if we, even being a karma yogi, we want to attain that supreme goal, then wait till you have only one goal left. Otherwise, your energies, otherwise, your focus, your concentration is scattered. It's gone into various boxes. Now, once all that dissolves and only one yearning is left, then you'll be able to surrender all your actions, and only then will you attain that supreme goal as a karma yogi. Bhagwan goes on to say something more. Not only that, he says, Buddhi Yogam. After you have only one goal left, that's not the end, huh? After you have only one goal left, then what do you have to do? Buddhi Yogam. You have to concentrate your intellect, your buddhi on me. On me means Bhagwan. Now, what is the job of the buddhi or the intellect? The job of the intellect is to recognize the truth and differentiate it from illusion or untruth, right? Then, having used your vivek to distinguish sat from mithya or asat, then what you have to do? Then you have to be established in the sat. But what are we using our intellect for? Our intellect is going to find out what is more beneficial for me, which job is more beneficial for me, which house is more beneficial for me, which friend is more beneficial for me, which dress is more beneficial for me, which restaurant is more beneficial for me. Look where our buddhi is being used. In sansar, in vishais. Remember again the chariot analogy. We had talked about it much earlier. In the, when Arjun is on the chariot, Bhagwan Krishna is his charioteer. So the buddhi is our charioteer. And the buddhi is holding the reins. The charioteer is holding the reins. This holding the reins is holding the mind. Your buddhi needs to hold your mind in place, neither too tight nor too loose. If he loses the traction, the mind will go wandering as it goes right now into sansar, into vasanas, into vishais, into rag and dvesh and everything. So the intellect has to hold the mind, the reins, and it has to direct the mind from sansar into the self. So one goal, having that one goal, buddhi yogam. Train the intellect to hold the reins of the mind, prevent the mind from going into sansar, prevent the mind from going into vishais, prevent the mind from going into vasanas, and take it, lovely, take it from the seen to the seer, sakshi. Take it from the seen, the objects, the vishais, and take it to the seer, the sakshi, the self. So buddhi yoga is what you need to do after having one single goal. Attach the buddhi to the supreme. Prevent it from going out into all other useless activities. And fix it in the knowledge that there is only one supreme being manifesting as all these different forms. Buddhi yoga. Okay. Selfless action. It is the path of selfless action. So let's recap. One goal. After that one goal, total surrender. Total surrender means you attach your intellect to that which you want to achieve, your supreme goal, and restrain the mind. Then Bhagwan says, will you get my grace? Bhagwan says, wait, there is still one more thing you need to remember. After having one goal, after totally surrendering, after training the intellect, restraining the mind, then where will you take the mind? Machchitta satatam bhava. Constantly fix your mind on me. Why? When the mind is constantly fixed on the higher self within, constantly, then there is no space left for sansar to enter. There is no space left for vasanas to enter. There is no space left for vishais to enter. There is no space for ahankar to enter. No more doership, no more enjoyership, nothing. No more confusion. No more commotion. No more mental noise, chatter, prattle. No place left for sansar and all the disturbances that sansar brings with it. You know why we are dukhi? We are dukhi because we have allowed sansar to enter our mind. We have allowed we are giving them rent-free space in our mind. And it has taken residence in our mind and has brought its entire family and friends, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya, Rag, Dvesh, Ahankar, ignorance, everything Sansar has brought, now is taking permanent residence in our mind, and we have allowed it. We have invited them in. So, Bhagwan says, if you constantly fix your mind on me, there will be no way, you have closed the door for everything else to enter. Remember, what is it? One goal. Be a proper mumukshu. Totally surrender. Then train the mind through glad acceptance. Accept what is. Attach to the self as a witness. Forget everything else. Don't go into the scene. Remain as the seer. And then fix your mind on that higher self. That person engaging in sarva karmani, engaging in all actions, in karma yog bhav, will receive prasad, grace. You and me, entitled, provided. When you receive that grace, you feel a lightness that comes from what? Lightness that comes from being desireless, that freedom that comes from not being subject, for your happiness not being subject to any desire being fulfilled. That is grace. That is the grace. And it is going to come from within yourself. And it's up to you. Entirely up to you. As we think, so we become. If you're thinking of lack, if you're thinking I'm limited, if you're thinking I'm dukhi, then that's what you will be, right? What we constantly think of, we will become. Think now. You think. What are you constantly thinking of? Lack, limitedness, dukh. That's what you have become, right? So check your thoughts. And Bhagwan has given you this beautiful guarantee. Hello, this is a guarantee Bhagwan is giving you, provided you fulfill the conditions of the guarantee, right? It's all in your own hands, not in your guru's hands, not in Bhagwan's hands, in your hands. Because you are no less than the Bhagwan, but you have not recognized yourself. That's about all. Okay, so go ahead. Don't hesitate. More next week. Again, very interesting shlokas coming up next week. Oh, 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 asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namah. Hari Om. Shidarpanam. Jai Gurudev.